you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life, would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans 1. We're so glad you joined us once again as we are going to talk about, of course, faith, Jesus Christ, the Bible, politics, current events, cultural events, all those things that are pertinent to you as you live this life, but always from a biblical concept or biblical perspective. So we're glad you joined us. Won't you please share right now, like and subscribe to us, hit that notification button so you can, you'll be notified every time we are online and we're broadcasting On Point. You can give us a call today, toll free from anywhere around the world, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. We'd love for you to give us a call. We have the most intelligent callers in the world, we believe, every Saturday morning, and talking about those things always from that faith perspective, from a Word of God perspective. So we hopefully will be helpful to you as we discuss those things that are pertinent to your life every day, culture and events and sports and politics, life in general. So you can give us a call. Once again, joining me is Reverend Nicholas Smith, our world-famous co-host. Hey, man.
Good morning. Morning, everybody.
How you doing? I see you typing up a storm. You got yourself going on?
I was just saying morning, people. Just saying hello to everybody.
How y'all doing today? We're so glad you joined us. A lot going on. People need to get a little bit more serious about this monkeypox outbreak. understand there's at least 1,000 cases in Camden alone. So it's close by, but I've come to understand that if something's happening in New York, it's happening in Jersey, especially on this kind of viral front. If it's happening in New Jersey and New York, it's in Pennsylvania. People need to understand there are no physical barriers between the states. Those are lines drawn on a map, you know.
Exactly.
And people are not being quite as careful as they could be and should be concerning the monkeypox virus. I understand that there's a shortage of medicine for it right now. They're once again a little slow on the draw. You know, not believing that these things don't catch planes, boats, trains, buses.
They keep talking about a global economy.
Yeah.
What do you think? If a global economy equals global people,
that's right.
Stuff travels from country to country.
Absolutely. It's not common sense. It's basic sense.
Right.
You know, you can't be global in so many other areas, and then suddenly think we're sequestered when it comes to things that travel through the air that you can't see, that are carried by human beings. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So you need to perhaps in maybe next week we can get Dr. Niles to call in and talk to us about monkeypox and what people need to do and the kind of precautions they need to take. I haven't heard anybody yet calling that a hoax, but you know, I never quite understood how COVID got to be considered a hoax with all the evidence that people were dying. I mean, what mindset do you have to have? You're just discounting whatever somebody else says.
Yes, blatant delusion. Well, it's just the flu. Everybody gets the flu.
It ain't just the flu.
It's not just the flu.
No.
It is a form of flu, but it's a whole lot worse.
Most people catch the flu and don't end up in ICU.
Right. And I think the thing that gets me too, like especially in the beginning, was the willingness to sacrifice senior citizens.
That blew my mind.
And well, it's just if they die, they die. It's like, come on, y'all, like that's.
And I understood that guy that said that caught it and passed away.
Wow.
You know, what American decides that another American's life has no value?
But I bet you he was pro-life though.
Oh well, no.
According to their standards.
Their standard of pro-life, and they pro-fetus.
Yes.
So you have the House passes a bill to ban assault rifles, which is a step in the right direction. But I'm already hearing from people that I know that Republicans are going to block it.
It's going to fall in the Senate. It's not going to pass in the Senate. It's not going to.
What is the need for an assault rifle?
Thank you. I get the right to bear arms. Fine with that.
I'm all for that.
But you don't need an AR-15.
No, I don't think you do.
You don't need a flamethrower.
Plus the other thing that gets me fascinated. Now maybe I'm missing it, but in this process of being licensed to have an assault rifle, I don't ever see where anybody's going to train to learn how to be accurate or safe with a weapon that's that powerful. And I think we shouldn't have them in the first place. But if you're going to allow them, it ought to be a more complicated process than getting a driver's license.
Exactly. I totally agree. But
just because you're old enough to smoke doesn't mean you're old enough to own an assault rifle. I don't get that.
Yeah. But money talks, and gun sales went up after Obama. They went up, and they just keep going up and up and up and up. They say there are lines of people around corners of these gun places, especially in the South. Every week, people buying bullets, buying guns, all that. Yeah.
I am a person who believes that you have the right to bear arms, but I do believe that it needs to be regulated, and I have sense enough to know that in the time I've been alive, I've known people that do not need to have firearms. If you can't control your mouth, you can't control your temper, you don't need to have a gun.
Yeah, they need to do mental health checks. Are you, like Japan does, are you sane enough
to own a weapon?
Gun?
Yeah.
And if you're not getting
one. No,
one.
you don't get one.
But there's there's money in that, and cutting off that gun show thing where they're buying guns and bringing them into other places in the country to sell them, the black market.
Yeah.
All that.
And I told you before, I knew a guy that would travel down south to 3 or 4 states, bring back a load of guns in his trunk, and sell them in Camden.
Yeah.
I knew him personally.
I'm sure.
You know, they came and got him. Now, we didn't know it until they came and got him.
Yeah.
But when they came and got him, we found out what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was.
I'm sure he's making some good money too.
And his mindset was, he wasn't shooting the gun. So it wasn't, once he sold the gun was not his responsibility.
Yeah. Like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Not you pass out turkeys, but you're killing people all day.
Yeah.
Passing out.
You have to have that mindset to relieve yourself of the impact that you're making on a community.
Yeah.
And that again goes back to money.
Yeah.
Like the guy I knew with the guns, he was making beaucoup amount of money.
Yeah.
And that's how he had to come up with a justification for why. All I do is sell it to him. I don't tell him how to use it.
Yeah. Oh, same thing with the crack boom.
But then, if I got to go get him and sell him illegally, and I know it's illegal what I'm doing, that should be enough to make me not do it.
You would think. Yes.
You would think. Yeah.
But the money.
Yeah. That money is that overriding factor.
Yeah. And I remember listening to some of the gang members from California during the crack boom.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not the ones shipping cocaine in here.
Right.
We don't have any planes. We ain't got no permits. We ain't got no visas to go across, And they weren't absolving themselves from selling it. Well, this one guy was selling it, but he got out of the game.
Right.
But his premise was the United States government. You remember the whole Iron contract when they were buying it, bringing it into downtown LA,
absolutely,
selling it to them,
okay,
so they can fund their war.
Okay.
But then locking all those drug dealers up, but you're selling them.
But here's my point. I didn't have to buy the drugs.
No, I agree with you on that. I'm thinking this is a vicious cycle of.
It's an Eden situation.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's her. It's
Yes.
not me. It's you.
Yes.
It's the environment. It's everything else. It takes away accountability for deciding I'm going to do this in my community.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just thinking from the government standpoint too. Well,
they had their motive, but
we can flood this community.
You know what I thought though? So the government wants to flood us with drugs in our neighborhood. Government's wrong. Why do I have to be a part of that process?
No,
why can I decide not to be a part of that process?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I think what I'm talking when we're bringing about the not caring about the outcome.
Yeah.
And saying like
that's on both sides.
On both sides. Like the guy selling the guns, like I don't care how.
He didn't care.
And they didn't care how I messed that community up, as long as they got their money to do.
It's always money. To do what they want to do.
And of course, none of them went to jail.
No. And what got me was the laws were such that this guy that I knew could go to like 3 southern states, because he would buy the limit in every state.
Yeah.
So he'd get the limit in Virginia, get the limit in North Carolina, get the limit in South Carolina, and then bring them up here. And he was doing that once a month.
I'm sure.
It's an amazing cycle of irresponsibility and casting blame on something, but it boils down to what you said. It always comes back to somebody making money.
Making money.
So the value of life, life doesn't have value when you hit a certain amount of income for some people.
Yep.
So if I can make a couple $1 million, as long as they're shooting people in that neighborhood and not in mine, I'm good.
I'm fine. Until it hits.
Lands on your front porch.
Well, it's like the prescription thing.
Mm-hmm.
Crack epidemic, black folk go to jail. A couple years ago, during the prescription drug thing, it's rehab. We need to get these people help because it hit their community. It's not, and it's not like act like white folk
it becomes
ain't been doing drugs forever.
It becomes a disease.
Yeah.
It's not character.
Yeah.
It's that you got a physical problem, a mental problem, emotional problem.
Right.
If it hits certain neighborhoods, but when it's just in the urban areas, then it's just bad people.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs. They were doing worse drugs than black folk were. Black folk were usually smoking weed. They were doing LSD. I know these people. So this whole thing black folk do more drugs is a total lie.
Yeah, I went to boarding school, of course, 11th and 12th grade. And I was, and there was only like, I think there was 11 of us in the 11th grade, minority students, and 6 of us in the 12th grade. I was astounded at the lengths that the other students would go to get drunk or get high, and the amount of sickness they were willing to endure in order to get a high in the moment.
Yep.
I was astounded.
Yeah. And then the patience with them, they'll grow out of it.
Yeah. Just having fun.
All right, sorry, y'all.
So now, I help me understand. Now, I have a lot of friends that are Republicans, and right now, a lot of my Republican friends appear to be kind of adrift because they're not sure what to attach their allegiance to at this point. And these hearings have not helped. These hearings have shown them the side of the party that they have not wanted to talk about, but they always knew existed. So they knew there was some corruption there. They knew there was a problem, but it was easy just to kind of, was that platform explain away that stuff. The two things that are bugging me about my Republican colleagues now are an apparent lack of care for law enforcement, especially those that are protecting them. And now, this bill aiding veterans impacted by the burn pits, all kinds of cancers. They actually rejected a bill to help these men and women. How do you say I'm all for armed forces? There's a real problem with illness, and you don't want to address it at all.
The lie they're telling Ted Cruz and them is that there was that pork fat and all that stuff in there, and they're like, read
Pork
the bill.
fat?
The fat, the pork.
When they add, all bills have stuff in the bill that doesn't make any sense.
Right. But they said, read the bill. There is no.
There's no pork.
In this one, there's
There's
no
no pork. Just for these guys.
And to pay for the services and.
They don't want the assumption or the knowledge that we as voters will ignore the facts and just go with what they say is blowing my mind.
Yeah. And that's my thing now. You talk all that trash about veterans, honor the vets, don't you kneel during a football game.
Oh, man.
But from, back from Agent Orange and what it did to all those.
Absolutely.
And then to this, they have to fight every year, or every couple of years for 9/11 cops and firemen.
Yeah. Which doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
It should be a non-negotiable.
It's like still having to vote for certain segments of our population to vote.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And the veterans, of course, as they should be, are up in arms. But again, what they were used to was tokens.
Absolutely.
They support us. They making these.
I think the Republicans have made a mistake in this one.
Did you see the video of them celebrating at the end?
Unbelievable.
Shaking hands like they did.
Unbelievable.
Like,
so what are they going to? They're trying to turn the veteran population against them now, and their families.
That's my thing. But I'm sure they're going to try to turn something around.
But you can't get rid of that.
You can't.
So let me ask you a question. So a lot of people from my generation, switching subjects for a moment, and we'll get to Robin in Delaware in just a minute. Hold on for us, Robin. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We've got 2 lines open. Climate change. Now, I know there are some people from my generation that just that's another hoax too. Everything that's inconvenient to us is another hoax. It's amazing how our sense of entitlement just rejects, we reject science until we need a doctor. It makes no sense to me. We reject science until one of our kids gets sick. And then I want the best science in the world. What is the big problem with climate change? I mean, you can't walk outside if you're my age, 70 years old, and see, okay, things are not like they used to be.
Stuff is different.
I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not a physicist. I'm not an astronomer. But I can tell, based on my experience, that things are not like they used to be. It has changed. You can't take away the glaciers are melting. There's water shortages everywhere. You can't. We've messed up this. We've mishandled the stewardship of this gift God gave us called the earth.
Yep.
And most people miss that biblically. Christians even miss that He puts the earth in our stewardship. The Bible says He's given earth to men.
Yep. Yep.
And so we're saying just keep polluting it, keep messing with it. You can't. I used to be able to drink water out of the river in Philadelphia. No problem. We used to go out there with jugs and get water out of the lions' heads all over the park. Man, you do that now, your face will come off.
Right. All sorts of viruses and stuff.
Oh, your face will come off, man.
It's that, two things. I think part of
Now, your generation believes in climate change.
Yeah, well, not all of them do.
No?
The old, more Democratic, left-leaning believes in it more.
Huh?
But it was back in the day, remember the tree huggers?
Yeah.
And the hippies, they thought they were crazy.
Yeah, thought they were.
But again, it goes back to money.
Yeah.
But also this crazy belief from some Christians that God's going to restore everything and He's going to keep the world. Nothing can destroy it.
Nothing can destroy the world, but we can mess it up.
Yes, we can. Yep. That, and I also think that who determines what. I'll use this example for it. Somebody asked a Trump supporter why he wanted Obamacare to be removed. Because remember, Trump was talking about the whole Trump care and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, we want it because Obama's thing was messed up, but Trump care is going to be better. We said, well, tell me about Trump's plan.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what his plan is. I just know it's going to be better.
How? There never was one.
Thank you. There never was one. He was so in his mind convinced that everything Democrats were touting
was wrong,
and everything they're touting was right, with no evidence, no proof.
They didn't have a plan.
Nothing. Same thing with climate change. Little young girl, Greta, from I think she's from Sweden or something.
Yeah.
How's Ted Cruz, a grown man,
Yeah.
getting into an argument with this girl? She's like, what, a teenager at the time, or like 20?
He's silly. No, he's a teenager.
That's true.
Let's go. Let's go to the phones. We've got Robin from Delaware. We've got Bobby from Willingboro, New Jersey. We've got Tom from Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick. How are y'all doing today?
Doing fine.
That's good. Bishop, first I want to say to you, you are really a true man of God, God chosen, God called. You pray for us, and just want to let you know that I've been praying for you and the family, and we love you. Anything that I can do, just let me know.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Love you. But happy 32nd anniversary.
Thank you, Rob.
And for you and Pastor Nick to put up with me for 18 years.
Woo, child.
A task in its dumb. What did you say?
A trial and a tribulation. A trial and a tribulation.
Oh, God, y'all funny.
My mom used to call me that almost every other day.
Right.
Boy, you're a trial and a tribulation.
Oh, Lord, here we go. But no, I love you guys, and I just thank you for everything that you have taught me, and, how you have shown me things that I never knew from my former church. So I just want to give you, give you the praise and the thank you.
We appreciate you.
But I wanted to ask you, y'all been talking about like things that the Republicans say is a hoax. Now with this climate change, with this heat, I noticed where in London they had to shut the airport down because they was taking off and the wheels caught on fire from the heat.
Wow.
I picked up a passenger from Ghana. He had called his family to check on them, and they said because of the heat, the smoke was coming out of the ground. Ooh. So it's like God is trying to show us that climate change is real.
Well, people want to. It's inconvenient, Robin, to stop polluting, but it comes back again. We're not going to stop polluting because of how much it costs. And our previous president was trying to get some bills through that would take some of the restrictions off the petroleum industry and all those other places that are helping to. We need to update the way we manufacture things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cheaper just to pass a bill and keep messing up the climate, because in reality, there appears to be no concern for the coming generations and the kind of earth they will inherit. And once again, The Bible is extraordinarily clear, in Genesis chapter 1 and 2, that God has given the stewardship of this earth to men and women. And so we can't blame God. We have to blame ourselves. But it's easier just to, we're so money thirsty that it's easy to just poo-poo away the things we need to do, because it's going to, and it's not that they're going to make less money, but they don't want to invest in what they have to do to make making money safe. And as long as they can get people to work and pay the wages and get the government to cooperate, you know, we're going to keep polluting the oceans and the environment. And here's the reality, Robin. When I was growing up, there were places in the world that you didn't hear about cancer too much.
Right.
And now it almost appears as though it doesn't matter where you live, on the side of a mountain, by yourself, shooting all your own food, growing all your own food, people are still getting sick. So what does that say?
They don't care, like you said. People don't care about people.
The only three common elements in the entire world are air, water, and food, which comes out of the ground. It's the only three things that are common around the world. So it has to be one, two, or all of those that are contributing to this rise, no matter where you live. Because there was a time, if you lived in Utah, you didn't hear about people catching cancer.
Nope.
But it's air, water, or food. It's gotta be. And if it's food, it means soil.
That's the only way. It's from the air, like you said.
Water or food, and that means soil.
Yep.
So, you know, we have ourselves to blame.
Hopefully they'll wake up before it's too late, Bishop.
Well,
I just have
they
one
better wake up
thing,
now.
I'm done. Please pray for your child, Tamara.
Okay.
She sent me a text. She said, "Mom, I wanted to take the kids."
Don't put the business on the radio, Robin.
No.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
Oh, no.
Come on.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't put the business on the radio.
She wanted to take the kids to Sesame Place.
Oh yeah, she doesn't need to go there.
And no, that's what I'm saying. She said, "Mom, I'm being serious. I would have stopped that whole parade and snatched the mask off everything." And I know, I said to her, "You can't do that because I can't bail you out." But 150 more people have come out regarding the Sesame Street issue.
They're selling it for like $25 million, I think.
Well, my kids were scheduled to go Tuesday, and they said they didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, they weren't going anyway. But I said, well, why? They said, well, I don't want them to do to me what I saw on television.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how Sesame Place is going to fix this.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to fix it. And then they're going to put out their statement that they were pointing to the parents, you know, so let them know that we can't hold your baby. That's a lie. We see the video. Who you pointing at?
Well, you know what they say, Robin. Are you going to believe your lying eyes, or are you going to believe what I'm telling you?
It's funny, yeah.
All right.
Hey, well, thank you, guys.
Talk to you now.
Everything that you do. Love you.
God bless you.
Again, Bishop, happy 32nd
Thank you.
anniversary.
Thank you.
I'm thankful to be 18 years of that.
Thank you.
Love you.
God bless you.
Love.
Thank you now.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267. We're going to Bobby from Willingboro. Good morning, Bobby. How you doing? Bobby. All right, let's hold on, Bobby, and let's go to, hey, Tom from Florida. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Hey, man.
Doing all right, man. How you doing down there in Florida?
I'm doing great. I'm worried about you guys, especially, you know, what I saw on the news the other day.
What'd you see?
About our governor here in Florida. How he's going to be your next president.
He's going to be our next president? You're excluding yourself from that?
Right.
Yeah, I'm moving.
Where you moving to?
I guess Jamaica, one of the islands.
Yeah, well, we're global people now.
Yeah, I know. But and on the serious side, they were showing last week with Murdoch.
Yeah.
They had a Fox, how he's got the Times and all the other of his papers kind of withdrawing from Trump. And this past week when Trump had his big rallies, Fox didn't cover it.
That's what I heard.
In return, for 17 minutes, they had our governor on Florida in place of him with some crazy nonsense. So the shift is happening.
So, and I understand that former President Trump was quite upset with Fox for not covering his rally. But I think perhaps these hearings, I don't think the hearings and this shift in Fox's coverage are coincidental?
I would say totally that they think that Trump is is tainted now, and that if you look at the polls, at least that CNN polls,
Mm-hmm.
Trump would lose against Biden. The other bad part about that is DeSantis would win, but a lot of Democrats, they claim that something like 40 or 50% of Democrats now don't want Biden to run.
I think that's because of his age.
That's his age, not because of what he's doing.
He's skipping over,
Yeah, they just don't. But if I don't think there's another Democrat that can run against him that'll win.
I don't think so. I don't think
You-
so.
You know what?
No.
Not now.
See somebody.
Yeah,
comes up
there's nobody on the national front, and I'm not even sure you could build an image in 3 years, because we keep forgetting the man's only been in office a year,
Yeah.
and the popularity. I don't think there's been a president that has had to deal with as many problems in his first year as he has had. I mean, many. And then it shows me the ignorance of the American population in that we are ignorant because we don't really understand these economic issues. We understand we need a fix, but we don't understand a president is not responsible for inflation. We don't get that. We don't understand. We say the Arabs control the oil, but we expect the president to control the gas prices. It's reflective of what we are paying for oil. So, but at the same time, we have people that don't want us to tap into the reserves that we have in a significant way, and I don't think we should, in case we get into a situation where we actually need them to survive. So Pastor Nick, it's like we don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, because they were blaming Biden when the prices were going up.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're going back down, nobody's saying anything.
It's ridiculous.
But did you see the article about the gas company's profits over the past quarter?
Oh man,
Astronomical.
they gouged.
They gouged.
They
They said ExxonMobil made $2,245 a second. A second.
because they were overcharging us
Yes.
for that. And in situations like that, I think Biden moved to put some penalties or something on gouging. But by the time they moved, because people don't, what are you going to price gouges? The government's getting involved in it. But I want the price to go down. Okay.
Yeah.
But Exxon, I'm telling you, I'll use a local supermarket as an example. So I go to a local supermarket during the pandemic for a pack of American cheese. The pack was about this big.
Yeah.
That bad boy was $9.
Wow.
Now tell me,
Yes.
tell me,
Much higher.
tell me what COVID had to do.
Yeah.
Look, I went to school on a farm. Cows could care less
Right.
what's going on around. They make the same amount of milk.
Yep.
Long as the grass grows, long as the hay's being fed, they don't care.
Yep.
So it wasn't the cows. It's costing you more to ship. Okay, I get that. But a $3.55 pack of cheese goes to $9. You taking advantage of the fact
Absolutely.
that we've built a mindset that we can't get any of this stuff to you. Now, mind you, cheese was all over the place.
All over the place. Yep. No shortage at all.
Come
But
on,
they're
man.
gouging. You're right.
Abundance of it.
Yeah, they made $46 billion.
Just during this period.
Yes, $46 billion. And it's mainly three of them: Exxon, Chevron, and Conoco.
I bet you they say that it's not our fault.
Yep. Yeah.
And you can't boycott them.
Right. Right.
You can't boycott them.
Right.
How you gonna boycott them? You gotta have the gas.
Unless everybody goes electric car, and everybody's not going to want to.
No. And electric cars are getting ready to be expensive. You hear me?
Because your electric bill's about to go up crazy.
They're getting, no, I'm serious. They're gonna, the more we lean towards electric cars,
Yep.
the higher the prices are going.
Yeah.
And most people cannot afford a brand new electric car
Yep.
now.
Yep. Yep.
Because the cheap ones are a little bit, $80,000.
They're a lot. Even the smaller Toyota ones are costing more. Them hybrid ones.
Yeah, I know. I know. Tom? Buddy.
Funny place.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. You doing all right?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get up your way, and want to wait till it gets a little cooler. But as soon as the weather breaks, I'll be up there.
Yeah, we've been having some heat.
Somebody told me it was hotter up here than it was in Florida.
Absolutely.
It is. Well, when I look at the
Absolutely.
news, I'm like, wow,
Absolutely.
back in
Like, what the heck?
Jersey than here.
We had, but there's no climate change.
Right, yeah.
We had Texas weather.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's going to get hot again, too, this week.
Absolutely. Because the things shift. Mm-hmm. So you want to cool off, you go to Florida now. It used to be,
Right.
what do they call them, snow bunnies or something going to do when
Exactly what they call it.
when it's hotter, here than it is in Florida.
Yeah.
They going to move again?
Right.
Come on, man. Tom, we got to let you go, man.
Hey, take care.
Talk to you. Bye-bye. Let's go back to Bobby. Hey, Bobby, are you there?
Good morning. Yes, I am.
Hi. Thanks for calling
Hi,
us.
Is this Bishop?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Bishop. This is Bobby. You know that. I just want to offer you my deepest condolences
Thank you.
for the loss of your daughter. I want
Thank
you to
you.
know that you and your family are in our prayers.
Appreciate it.
I want to say hi to Pastor Nick.
Hello.
Every single House Republican voted down an amendment to a bill that would require investigation into white supremacist and neo-Nazi activity in the military and federal law enforcement agencies. Don't they care about what's going on, in the real world with all of these white supremacists and neo-Nazis on police forces, federal police forces?
Well, here's what I think. If that is accurate, number one, we've had to accept that these elements are in our military,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking nationally now,
Mm-hmm.
in the police force.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to come to the realization that they're there,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate, but this is not about people's value. This is all about keeping a vote. And here's what's really weird. I think the average individual thinks that these elements are small. I think they're more pervasive than we think they are.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're, if it was not beneficial to the politician, a politician votes as to what's beneficial for him or her. And I think that the people are secondary. So their whole thing, their top three emphasis for the top three things that are important to a politician are this: get reelected, get reelected, get reelected. Those are the top three things that are absolutely important. So it comes down not to the value of people. It comes down to how can I get reelected? And if I have to support a group that is anti everything that we claim to stand for as a country, then that's what they'll do.
But where does that leave the people?
It's not about us.
No, it's not. But
You know.
I mean, do I get a gun? I mean, I'm not a gun owner, but I mean, do I need to do that?
Well, I think that I don't think we're at that point where everybody needs to be armed. I think you have a right to bear arms, but I don't think we're at a point where everybody needs to have a gun for the purpose of repelling apart our neighbor. That whole scenario just does not compute to me. That that I might come out of the house one morning and my neighbor has decided they're against me. I can't get that. I do understand that our country needs to get back to what we say we stand for. And we can do it, but it's not going to be, it's time out for people to start thinking, well, isn't so-and-so ashamed of this point of view? No, they're on camera, appealing to a part of the country that they believe is going to help them get reelected. It's all about money and reelection. Also, you got to understand there's some big money behind these segregational and racist policies. There's some big people supporting these things. For instance, you remember when the young man shot the guy's arm off at the Black Lives Matter rally in what country was that? What city was that?
You mean the
16-year-old guy.
Oh, Chicago. Was it Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Millions poured into his legal defense fund.
Yep.
Millions. People that didn't even know him. You know, so there's money out there with the same mindset that you're talking about right now. You know, so what we have to do is as best we can be careful of who we elect to office. And we cannot elect ideologues. People who are ideologically driven don't really have a care for anything outside their ideology. And that means you discard people. They say it's words, but one of my closest friends is a lifelong Republican. I mean lifelong. He's been a Republican for the last 50 or 60 years. And he told me on the phone during our previous president's campaign that was just campaign talk. He was not going to do any of that stuff. I waited about 6-9 months to call him after he was in office. And I said, okay, tell me what you thought he wasn't going to do. And he said, he said, man, that guy's crazy. He said, they thought that was all campaign talk. Now, people are having to justify their choice, Bob. So they're sticking with him no matter what. And a big part of that were the evangelicals would not criticize him. You may have noticed their silence during his administration. They didn't criticize anything. Yet, that same group of people were criticizing Obama smoking a cigarette, wearing a tan suit, even though Reagan wore tan suits all the time. You know, it was the who determines the what in our society, and that has to be corrected.
Yeah. Well, I guess I am my first line of defense.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bishop.
Absolutely. Fortunately, we have in our state, we have a couple politicians that really seem to be concerned about what happens to us. Cory Booker, Donald Norcross,
Troy Singletary.
Troy Singletary. I know Troy personally. We served on the Turnpike Commission board together. I know. Of course, Cory Booker. We've been friends for a long time. And I know Don Norcross a long time. He's been a great friend to our church and our people. So they are concerned about folk, and that's important. That's what we need. People that are concerned about the constituents, and that concern and that care gets them elected or reelected.
Well, we're in big trouble, Bishop.
Yeah, we've got some challenges, but we cannot eliminate the reality of a God who is a God of justice.
Oh yeah.
His process is slow. The wheels of God grind slowly, but they grind mighty fine. So it's a lot of times we have to wait for God to do what he needs to do, and we have impatience with that.
Yeah.
I'm a living witness that you simply have to wait for him. Yeah. All right, Bob.
Thank you.
Talk to you now.
Take care.
Bye-bye. So anything online today? Before we go to Danny from Florida?
No, you just
Normal stuff?
normal stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 866-743-8267. 866-743-8267. We have a little under 20 minutes left in our program. If you want to talk to us, we really look forward to talking to you. Give us a call. If you've never called before, you had a little hesitancy, maybe a little fear, you know, if you've listened to us before, it's not a dangerous radio program to call into. We know how to disagree without being disagreeable. So just give us a call. And as long as you're not talking foolishness, you're welcome on OnPointe.
Right.
But if you come in with some foolishness now, we got a different side of the preachers to talk to you about. Amen. We're going to let me ask you a question, man. It appears to me, based upon some of the things that are happening in the news, that we are losing our self-discipline as a society. Since when, if you're in jail, do guards give you keys, if you're a male, to the women's wing of the prison? That's about money, you know that.
Yeah, they gave $1,000. $1,000 to do this.
$1,000?
2 inmates. I think it was 2 inmates. 1,000 gave the corrections $1,000.
What's the inmate doing with $1,000?
Thank you. Right. Right.
And we got law enforcement guys sitting looking at us right now.
They still working from the inside.
In jail, you got $1,000? Yeah. I know folk working every day don't have $1,000
Right.
to pay for some access to some tail.
Yeah, they working from the inside.
It makes no sense.
And then to let them in there and rape them all,
They were raping the women?
they raped the women. The guys took the keys, came in there, opened the doors, and raped the women in the facility.
And the guards knew about it?
Yeah, the guard knew about it, yeah. He left the door open on purpose for them to get the key. For them to go inside the women's part. And the women, about 20 of them.
What's wrong? I wonder what's wrong with him.
Yeah, and they arrested him quickly.
Well, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Because number one, how you making that kind of money in jail? When the number of people that I've had to put money on their books,
Yeah.
You send $20 to the jail and they got money.
Yeah.
So $1,000 in jail?
Yeah. They must be some big time players in jail.
Well, and that means there's some corruption going on in the system.
Absolutely.
That would be allowed and this would happen. And this guy actually thought that was going to go down and they weren't going to find it.
And that's the thing. They had him on video.
Stop lying.
But I haven't.
Stop lying.
They had camera.
Stop lying.
On camera.
Stop lying.
Him keeping the door open a little bit.
Stop lying.
And putting the keys inside of this thing, this blood pressure machine.
How dumb was he?
Right. And then
if anybody knows there's cameras everywhere, the guard would know.
Yes.
Okay.
And they had the whole thing on camera with the guys getting the keys and opening the doors, the cells. And
well, let me ask you a question. So as the assaults were going down,
that was my question.
What were the guards doing that were supposed to be watching?
That's my next question. If they saw them go in there, and because this happened over nighttime,
Okay.
how come nobody stopped it? Whoever's watching all the screens, you mean to tell me they didn't, unless he got in on?
You know what that implies? That implies the 1,000 didn't go to the one guard.
Yes. He got a little money.
It implies that maybe 100 went to this one, 100 went to that one.
Yes, to keep everybody quiet.
Oh my.
So the women, of course, filed a lawsuit. They're in
Well,
jail, but they got a lawyer.
They need to.
And they
need to. They need to. Unbelievable. Let's go. Hey, Danny, how you doing this morning?
Bishop, good morning. Good morning to you, Pastor Nick, staff. How y'all doing today?
Thanks for calling us. How you doing, man?
Bishop, I just want to say to you, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Whatever you need, just feel free to call on us here in Florida, especially with the family.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you, man.
I'll move on, but you've been so much of an inspiration for us.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to bring back to the point of what I talk about so many times. You've always said, follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
And it will always go ahead and take you somewhere and you'll see exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Remember a few weeks ago I told you that the meeting that they had up in New York with DeSantis?
Yes.
Okay, now you see how things are connecting together where the money is not going in a certain direction. And it's amazing what you just said. It's true. It's the who determines the what.
Absolutely.
Okay, a few weeks ago, the president, when he went overseas,
mm-hmm.
he did a fist bump with one of the dignitaries.
Okay.
He had all kinds of problems with that.
But why?
Now we have a former president who's having a golf tournament who's being sponsored by who?
The Saudis. Yeah.
Saudis.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's in New Jersey.
Just learned that they're going to have one in the fall here in Florida.
Okay.
But there's no repercussions from the media on exactly what happened.
Well, I know the 9/11 families are up in arms about Trump having the Saudis there, especially closest to New York and New Jersey and all that. Because some of them had these red hats on about 9/11.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
And if they don't understand that, he doesn't care.
He does not care. He doesn't.
And I think a president, any president, has an issue trying to do anything he's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. President of the United States is supposed to be a world leader.
Yep.
So he has to meet with people that we like and people that we don't like. That's called diplomacy.
Yeah.
But if he didn't meet with them,
Mm-hmm.
they say he was failing on his international agenda.
Yeah.
So if he goes, he's got a problem. If he doesn't go, he's got a problem. He's just doing what presidents do. They meet with dignitaries.
He didn't do this though. He's a former president. He has no juice anymore.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about Biden.
Oh, talking about Biden. Okay, Biden. Okay.
Biden. I'm talking about Biden.
Oh, yeah, Biden,
With Trump, he shouldn't even be. But he doesn't care about how his decision impacts people.
No.
President Trump, former President Trump, does not care, or he would not have met with that group of people, and plan on doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes to New Jersey, which is really a slap in the face of the governor.
Yep.
But it is his golf course, so So Danny, I thought it was pretty bold of your governor to come to New York and do a rally or something.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty bold.
Yeah.
I thought that was really a statement.
Yeah, they're repositioning and moving the players around exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Because of the fact what happened in Texas, the governor of Texas, he had a problem with the school situation where he's trying to hide as to what he knew. At first, he wanted to claim that he had everything was under control, how brave people were that was there on the scene. They had it under control, but everything was out of control.
Yeah.
So everyone ducked out of that. So it left DeSantis with a clear shot. So they're moving him around and what have you. Now he's in hiding because we have a major problem here in Florida. And I've been saying it all the time. And I'm so thankful that you warn us about wearing our masks.
Yeah.
Be diligent, keep your mask on. Don't take them off. Keep them on.
Yeah.
Now I'm amazed how what's going on here in Florida, nobody's getting the situation under control. It's out of control.
Which situation?
With the various diseases that's going on.
Yeah, COVID's having
COVID's a resurgent again down there.
Florida. Yep.
So and your governor's in isolation?
We haven't seen or heard him say with the situation the way that it is. You leading the nation, and the latest situation. Now, but the past situation with COVID is out of control as well. Now you have something brand new. You're not talking to the citizens as to what could be done to get this under control. Well,
the resurgence is a product of bad stewardship of the preventive measures that you have to take. But Florida's been through this before. Your governor said this whole thing was a hoax. You didn't need to do this. Let's open up to everything, and you guys' numbers went through the roof. You had dead bodies in refrigerated tractor trailers. So now this new strain is coming, and everybody's packed up in these venues, and all of a sudden, you're peaking again. I don't know where you are in the nation now.
We don't get any information as to numbers anymore.
I saw something the other day, Danny, where they said last week it was 127,000 new cases of this variant a day. 127,000 new cases a day. And those are the ones reported. And they think that there's 2 or 3 times that amount that are unreported.
Because we'll maybe talk about next week. The at-home tests are doing a bad job at detecting this new strain.
They can't detect it.
They can't detect it.
Because this one's not nasal.
Yep, it's in your throat.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So now you're going to have to stick the swab down your throat.
Yeah.
I don't know who's driving the bus. I've been saying this since the beginning of COVID. We have a slight reduction. They take all the restraints away. COVID goes through the roof. Then they have another slight reduction, and it goes through the roof again because we insist on removing the very things that other nations are finding successful. Canada's stuff, they're not playing at all.
But guess who stopped doing it? New Zealand. COVID surged in New Zealand because they put off all the restrictions.
Oh, and they were doing really
and
well.
They were doing good. And they said, okay, let's open everything up. And now it's just, and before, if a few people got it, they shut everything down.
They shut everything down. But this time they didn't do that.
They're just going to keep going.
And so now they have a problem.
Yeah.
The major problem that we have here in Florida is that you have two hubs that give you a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the airport
Yep.
and the seaport.
Yep.
You have people that they meet the criteria, they check to make sure that they've been tested
Yeah.
before they go on a cruise.
Yeah.
The boat goes out, everyone comes back safe. If that doesn't tell you
It's a test tube. It's a petri dish.
Yeah.
It's a bacterial breeding ground. It's a germ kennel.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
but as long as they're making the money, it doesn't matter.
But people don't matter anymore, and so the people need to understand that is at the bottom of these decisions, and we need to start protecting ourselves. We need to put these masks on, outside, inside, make sure everybody's tested, and make sure everybody's vaccinated. You got to do what you got to do. We got to let you go, Dan.
Okay, Bishop.
Tell my sister I said hi. Bye bye.
We'll do. We'll do.
We have about two more. Let's talk to Misty. Misty, is that you? Misty,
Hello?
is that you?
Make sure everybody's vaccinated.
Yes.
Hi, how are you this morning? Welcome to OnPointe.
Hi.
How are you? Turn your stuff down in the background. I think you're listening to yourself.
Okay. Hi. Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, you still got your radio up. Turn it down.
Wait a minute.
All right.
We just want to welcome you.
I'm good. How are you?
You're still listening to yourself, girl.
That's a delay.
I see I'm on two phones.
Okay, you got to hang one of them up, babe.
Right.
Oh, hang one of them up. Okay.
Yeah. And come on now, because we only got about 3 minutes. We want to talk to you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I could always hear you, but you were listening to me in the background too.
Okay.
You got it?
First, I want to say you have my deepest condolences.
Thank you very much.
And I'll be wanting to call, but sometimes it's stuff that I need to say. I don't want to say
Okay.
it on,
Okay, I understand.
On point. I try to call y'all, but I can't never get nobody. I know y'all real busy
You-
and everything. Y'all don't want to talk
What's your last name, Misty?
Wiggins.
Okay, Misty Wiggins. Did you leave
Yes.
Did you leave a voicemail on for me or Pastor Nick?
For you.
No, baby. No.
It's good.
Because I answer all my stuff.
But you say that. I hear you.
I'm trying to tell you now. I answer my own,
Pastor Nick.
I answer my own voicemails and everything. Don't come on now.
Don't hide me now.
Nobody can say they call either one of us and we don't call them back. That just doesn't happen.
Okay, well I'm gonna do it again.
All right.
But anyway, y'all didn't say nothing about the minister who got robbed on Stream Live in Brooklyn. Lamar Whitehead. Y'all didn't hear about that?
Part of me didn't want to talk about it. First off, I
Right.
mean, it's not my show.
Okay.
I was
Right.
going to bring it up to you to see if you want to talk.
Well,
about it.
I'm yeah.
Because I said Pastor Nick know
There,
everything. He ain't saying
there's
nothing.
too much fishy stuff going on now, I think, for us to start really jumping into a conversation. Because every day,
Right.
some shady stuff is coming out about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're
And-
saying a whole lot of stuff.
Well, here's
it.
it. So we don't bash preachers on this show. But I
Yeah.
tell you what I did.
I'm not
Watch this, Misty. What I did see, and I need you to call us next week so we can talk about it a little longer because we got 1 minute left. If you look at the video, I want you to take notice of the guy sitting in the chair who doesn't react at all. Yes, who doesn't react at all to the entire scene. He doesn't get down on the ground. He never looks like he's under any threat. I believe.
And this girl she just showed that on a talk.
I believe that was an inside job. I believe it was an inside
And they
job.
only robbed the pastor and the first lady.
That's all.
No parishioners.
And they went under his robe to get some of his stuff.
Yes.
Somebody had to tell him what was there.
They didn't even show that though.
Yeah, but you could see it. You could see it happening. He went back and rustled up under it. You could see it.
Yeah.
But watch the video and see the guy on the edge and tell me what you think next week.
Because they got this, and they got the pastor and all these legal issues now. And
Yeah.
it's coming out about him having money.
Yeah. All right, Misty. Look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now. So tomorrow is Sunday, of course, and we've got a 8 a.m. replay of a previous anniversary with Kurt Carr and Pastor Jamal Bryant. So Jamal Bryant will be our guest 8 o'clock. Kurt Carr will be our musical guest at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have an outdoor service tomorrow at 11 a.m. To celebrate the 32nd pastoral anniversary, pastoral anniversary, because we had a heat problem last week. Couldn't put the people outside in all that heat. Bishop Michael Anthony is going to be our guest. There's a drive-by celebration that takes place after the drive-in service at 11 o'clock. So you can bring your gifts and just say hi. If you have a prayer request, we need for you to send it to social@gotobethany.com. Pastor Nick, you got anything else you want to say about
No,
this?
just, sow into your Bishop's life. We're asking for at least $100. If you could do more, do more. If you can't, do the best you can. You can do it on all our giving platforms if you can't. Especially if you're distant, you can do it on our website and all that tomorrow.
Well, we look forward to Bishop Anthony. Of course, Jamal always has something profound to say. So we're looking, and Kirk Carr.
Also, real quick, Bethany does not have a Cash App account. Somebody created a false one.
Oh, did they?
Yes. So please do not go on Cash App. Now you have a Cash App.
Yep.
But that's different than the church. Somebody
Yeah.
put BBC and NJ.
Did they?
Cash App. So we're reporting it so it can get taken down.
When did that happen?
We just found out last night. So I asked Chris this morning.
People are crazy.
Yeah. So
I'd be afraid to rip the church off.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid to badmouth men and women of God.
Yeah.
Because, just because lightning doesn't come out of the ground, it doesn't mean out the sky. It doesn't mean that God's not taking notice.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining us once again. For Pastor Nicholas A. Smith, I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. And remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next week, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Point.